Okay, welcome. We're going to be doing the guided program development for chapter 3 in this assignment. So what you need to do is you need to go to open up Visual Basic, go to the Open File button on the top, and what you're going to do is you're going to open up the program that we've been working with. So you're going to go to Projects. Okay, you should see your pizza selection project. You're going to open that. You're going to click on this file right here. If you open this up a little bit, you can see what that is. You have two files in here that you have to choice. You have the solution and you have the solution user options. So we're going to click on this Visual Studio Solution button and choose Open. Okay, now, while that's opening, you're going to need to include some video, some graphics, not video, but graphics for this program. So we're going to go to the web. We're going to go to cengagebrain.com. I just put in Hoisington for the author. Do a search to find what you're looking for, and the book should come up. Select our book, Visual Basic 2012 Introductory. We're going to open that up. Okay, then you want to scroll down, and there's the free materials button. So you're going to click on the tab, the free materials tab. You're going to click on that. Okay, then we're going to go down and we're going to choose Access Now. We want to access the companion site. Okay, this is our companion site. You want to download the data files for students. Okay, we're going to click on that zip file. It opens. It takes forever. Okay, so while that's opening, we'll go here and we'll start working on our assignment. We'll come back to that in just a moment because there's so much to do. Okay, now the first thing that we want to do is we want to show the form object's back color property. Okay, so the back color is going to be the color of the background of our form. So make sure that your form is selected. You can go down here. If you don't see the form selected here, you can pull down this menu, choose Form Pizza Selection. That's the one we want. Now we want to go and we want to find back color. It's all alphabetical. If it's not alphabetical, click on this little button right here to make it alphabetical. That'll make it easier for you to find what you're looking for. Okay, so we're going to find the back color. Alphabetical B comes before. There we go. So we're going to go to the back color. Now, if you go over to the edge here, if you click on it, and you go over to the edge, you're going to see a drop-down window. So we're going to choose the white. Okay, again, it should be alphabetical, HIJKLMNOPQRST. Oh, sorry, go to Web Colors, and then choose white. Go to Web Colors, and then choose white. There you go. So that'll change it to white. The next thing we want to do is we want to choose the back color for the button. So we're going to make the buttons a different color. So we're going to click, hold down your control key, click, click, and go down. Now, why do we hold down the control key and select all of them? Because there are some properties that you need to change individually, but back color is one of those colors that you can change doing all of them at the same time. Now, the benefit of that, obviously, is that A, you don't have to change each one individually, which if you have a lot of colors or a lot of buttons could take forever. B, the other benefit of it is that you make sure that you have the correct colors. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to select the back color, and we're going to change the back color to wheat. So we're going to choose back color. Okay, and then we're going to go to Web, if you're not already there, and we're going to find wheat. Now, these are not alphabetical, so it's a little bit harder to find. It's kind of like a brownish color. So you're going to scroll down till you see that it's kind of in this range here. So you just scroll down till you find the wheat. So it takes a minute to find, but if you look around, you'll see it. Okay, so that changes the back color to wheat. It's kind of a funny wheat color. But, you know, I mean, it's pizza, so wheat, right? Okay, now you want to change the forecolor of the label object. The forecolor of the label object, that's this up here. Okay, that's our label object. Again, if you're not sure what they're talking about, pull this down. Okay, label object. Well, this one's label. This one's label. So we're going to change the forecolor of the label object, or the label heading. And we're going to change that to fire brick. So we're going to do that. We're going to choose the back color again. And again, this is kind of like a reddish color, so we're going to go into the reds and we're going to find fire brick. Oh, that was the back color. Why didn't you guys tell me I was changing the back color? Okay, we want the back color to be white. Or transparent. Transparent is good too, so transparent is probably better. I'm going to do it to transparent. Doesn't really matter. Okay, now I want to do the forecolor, which is the words. And so I want to do the same thing. Pull that down, choose web, and then in the reds I want to choose fire brick. Ah, yes, that looks a lot better. Okay, let's go check on the status of our file here. So here's our download. You see we have all these files. So what you can do is I would just recommend extracting all. And you can put them wherever you want. I'm just going to, let's see, for now I'm going to put them on my desktop. I'll probably move them later and file them, but I don't feel like figuring out where to file them right now. So we're going to extract all those. Okay, so I put those on my desktop. And again, you know, I'm just going to file them later. Okay, so now we've downloaded, so we have all of the images. And if you go down here and you look, oops, sorry. Okay, so here's my data files. And we'll double click on that, see what we've got. So here's chapter 3. And you can see here's our deep dish pizza. And down here is our thin crust pizza. And if you need pictures for any of your other problems, those will be in here as well. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to display the select resource dialog box. So we're going to go back here. And we're going to go to image, because that's what we're doing, is we're doing the image. So make sure you're clicked on one of your images. Okay, so this one we're going to do the, I don't know which one this is, but we'll just do the left one. Click on image. There should be an ellipsis off to the side. Ellipsis is those three little dots, like, you know, when you're continuing on. So that signifies that you have to click on that to do more. So we're going to click on that. A lot of that, if you want to do more, always go to the right and see if there's a pull-down menu or an ellipsis if you're not sure what to do with the things. That'll help. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to do a project resource file. You need to import it. So we're going to go ahead and import our deep dish pizza selection. No, I'm in the wrong place. So we're going to go to our desktop. We're going to go to our data files. We're going to go to chapter 3, and we're going to do our deep dish. Okay, so once you've done your deep dish, that's fine. So we're going to put it there. Okay, then don't worry that it doesn't fit. We'll fix that in a second. So then we're going to do the same thing with our thin crust. Okay, so we're going to go back to image. I shouldn't have moved that. Go back to image. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to import. And we're going to do the thin crust. And choose OK. Okay, so now we have a thin crust pizza and we have a deep dish pizza, and they look really, really funny. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the object, and we're going to go to the size mode. The size mode changes the size or the way the image is displayed. You can do like a, the pattern, what is it called, tiled, where it's like all along, or you can stretch it to make it fit, or you can do it the original size, whatever. So we're going to go to size mode. Okay, again, if you don't know what you want, go over to the right side, click on it, go over to the right side, see if there's a pull-down menu or ellipsis or something like that. Now, what we want to do is, if you do stretch image, that'll make it automatically fit in the box. Now, of course, if your box is wide and it's a square picture, you know it's going to make it kind of silly putty looking. So make sure that you select the best option, and you can try different ones. So like, say you don't like this one, so you want to do like auto size. Okay, that one, you know, is that what we want? No, not really. So so you can do, I'm going to undo that so that it goes back to the right size. So you can play with these to see what they, what they do. Okay, zoom would work too. I did not know that. Okay, normal is the one. Center image, if you have like a big, form and there's like lots of space in the box, you can center the image. Okay, so we set the size mode images so they both look really good. So now we want to set the visible property for the deep dish image. Okay, we want to set it so that's the visible property. That means when the person opens the form, are they going to see it or are they not going to see it? Okay, so right now if we look, we can see the visible property is true. So we don't want them to be able to see both of them. We want them to have to click on the little buttons to see. So we're going to set the visible property to false. And we're going to do the same thing for this. And that's one of those things where you could select both of them and go down and set the visible property to false. And the reason it was blank is because one was true and one was false. So, so now when the form comes up, so if we run this, we can see what it looks like. And you'll see it comes up and there's no pizzas, or there shouldn't be any pizzas. Watch it be broken. Okay, see, no pizzas, okay, because we set both the visible properties to false. Okay, now we want to select the select pizza, this button right here. We want to do the enabled property to false. So enabled means, you know, can people push it? If they can't push it, what we're doing here is we're forcing the users. My number one rule in computers is that users are stupid. So we want to do whatever we can in order to force them into doing the right thing. So here we've disabled the select pizza button, or unenabled. I don't know what the proper word would be, but we have made it so it's not enabled. So what they have to do is they have to click on one of the choices in order to select this button. Once we select one of the choices, that button will become enabled and will allow them to select it. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that that is not enabled. We want to set the exit button's enable property to false. This is something that the form requires. I'm not entirely sure I agree with it, because if the user gets in there and then changes their mind and wants to get out, we don't want to force them to have to do something in order to enable that exit button. We're doing it on this form because the form tells us to, but the exit window, I never want that to be disabled, unless it's like you might want to disable it if, say, for instance, it's a complete order button. Then you want to force them to do something before they can complete their order. But I really don't feel like the exit button should ever be disabled, because I think people should be able to leave whenever they want to. It's kind of like, you know, computer program false imprisonment. Oh, I can't get out until I do something. So, yeah, we don't want to do that. Okay, so the select pizza button and the exit window button are disabled. And if we run it again, we can run it just so you can see what that looks like. Okay, see how these are, they don't have the nice, they're kind of grayed out a little bit. They don't have the nice border around them. So that shows that they're disabled. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to start coding now. Okay, that's what's cool about Visual Basic, is that we do all the setup and it's all visual, and then we can code things just by double clicking on them and typing the code. So double click on Deep Dish, and it brings us to the code window. Now notice that it has this public class form pizza selection. Do not delete that line. If you delete that line, you will break things. Then we have this private sub button deep dish. Click. So that what it's saying is, it's saying when the user clicks it, then we're going to do the code, and we have to write the code because the code is not there. Okay, so we're going to start by adding some comments up here. Okay, so to do comments, we put a little apostrophe. Okay, that puts it into comment mode, and you want to put your program name, pizza selection. Oops, spell it right. Okay, and then you want to go down to the next line, and you want to do the same thing. We're going to do developer. And then here you're going to put your name. Now, some people like this stuff to all be lined up nicely. So if you want it all lined up, you just hit the tab key. It's just like lining up in Word. The date, oops, use the right thing, date. Use your tab again, and today is 9/6. Now, I don't know when you'll be watching this, but the day that I'm making it is 9/6. So put today's date, don't put this date. You're going to do the purpose. And the purpose is this application displays 2 pizza types. Okay, and then if we go down to the next line, make sure you put that little apostrophe again, because it's not like word wrap. You have to put the apostrophe each time. And then we're going to put deep dish and thin crust. The user can select pizza type. Okay, so notice the comments are in green. Comments are always in green. Now, any extra white space, that's what this is called. That's what all this tabs and these extra spaces, that's all called white space. The reason that we do white space is it makes your program easier to read. So we do that. So now what we need to do is we need to tell the program how it's going to handle when somebody clicks the button. So we start with a comment. We comment all of our sub-procedures, okay? So this is a sub-procedure. It's telling us how to do something. So we're going to put, let's see, we're going to put this code is executed when the user clicks the button. Okay, so, and the thing is that how in-depth you want it to be is up to you. If you have a really complicated sub-procedure that's really hard to understand, you might want to have more information. These are very basic, and you're probably thinking, why do I even need a comment? Because somebody should know what it's doing. The reason that we put the comment there is to make sure that that everything that the other programmers know what's going on. All right, so here's what we wanted to do. Okay, we want to make things happen when it clicks on the button. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to make they clicked on the deep dish button. So we want to make the pick deep dish. And as you start typing, you're going to notice that things come up. Use that. Double click on the ones, because that way you know you don't have spelling errors, you don't have to worry about capitalization, anything like that. You want to make sure that all of that stuff you want to click on whenever possible. So we're going to dot visible. Now visible is the property. And you don't have to click on it. If you've got it, you can just click the next thing. So my next thing is going to be a space, and it automatically fills. Okay, so visible, the visible property, remember we talked about that. That makes it so it's not visible, right? So now what we want to do is we want it to be true, because we want the person to be able to see it. So that's the first thing that we're going to do. We're going to make sure that the thin crust is set to false. Okay, so by making sure that it's set to false, if they press the thin crust first, so we want to turn it off. So if it's on, we want to make sure that it's turned off. Okay, then we want to do the select pizza is enabled. So because we want to make it so that they can, and notice that notice the little pictures on the side. This is a procedure here, or sub procedure. So that's not what we want. We want the button select pizza. Okay, see, these are objects, the little blue thing. So that's what we want. We want the button select pizza, and we want to enable it. Okay, so, and this is what I was talking about with the enabling. So now we've enabled the select pizza button. So what we're doing is we're saying until they hit the select pizza button, they can't exit the program. But again, like I said, it's like, you know, computer false imprisonment, and we don't want to do that. Okay, I like to leave a little white space around in my sub procedure so that people can see what's going on. A lot of people like to put a little bit after their comments to make it so that it's easier to see. Okay, so now the next thing that we want to do is we want to do the select pizza. We're going to program the select pizza button. So we're going to go back to our form. So you go to the one that has the little design over here on the side. So we're going to go back to our form. And we're going to, let's program the thin crust first. I think they do they do the thin crust? I don't know when they do the thin crust. But let's go ahead and do the thin crust. So the thin crust is really easy. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat. Okay, I'm going to grab all this. And I'm going to paste it here. Okay. So I'm really lazy when it comes to typing. I don't like typing. So now we just need to change these around, right? This is false. Okay, and this is true. Okay, so that's the only thing. Now we're making sure that the pick thin crust is visible. And again, we want to leave the button select pizza enabled because we still want them to be able to select that in the event that they want to, if they click the thin crust first, we need to have that so that in case they click the thin crust first. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the design window. Okay, and we're going to do what, so we're going to have to select the pizza. We're going to program this button, what happens when they select the pizza. And I did both of the pizzas first just because it seems to be, I don't know, it just seems to make more sense to me. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to do the, we're going to say, let's see, this code is executed. Oh, shoot. Okay. Remember I said I'm really lazy and I don't like to type all this stuff? Okay. So when the user picks the button. Okay, so what do we want to happen when the select pizza button? We want to start by disabling the two buttons. Hold on, I'm just kind of going on my own here, so let me just double check my instructions and make sure that that's what I'm doing. So where do they do it? Do they even do that in here? Oh, yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do, and actually I'm going to go to the design. So we're going to say choose a pizza type and then click the select pizza button. We're going to click the enjoy your pizza selection. We're going to change the visible property on that too to false because we don't want to thank them before they've done anything, right? So we leave the instructions there so that they can see what's going on, but we disable that one so they can't see it. Now let's go back to our form, or to our code. So now we're going to do the button select pizza thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to disable both the buttons. So we're going to do button deep dish dot enabled because that's the property that we want. And then equals false. So we're disabling both of the pizza buttons because they've made their selection. So we don't want them like confusing themselves and thinking that they didn't make their selection. We want to take away. They've made their selections. So so we don't want to give them the option to keep going back and forth and doing all sorts of weird stuff. So we're going to oops, that should be false. Sorry. So we're going to disable both of the pizza buttons. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to enable the exit button. Okay? We're going to, we're going to disable this button too. Let's go ahead and disable the select pizza button. Okay, so we disabled the select pizza button. So I'm just going to put a space after that to show that now I've disabled all my buttons. I'm done with my buttons. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do one more button. I'm going to do the exit button. Remember, we disabled the exit button. So we're going to enable the exit button. Okay, so now we've enabled the exit button. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of those instructions. So I'm going to do label instructions visible. Okay, because I'm going to change the visible property. And I'm going to do false. Okay, but remember I have the confirmation label. So I'm going to do the confirmation label dot visible equals true. So now I'm saying thank you so much for buying our lovely pizza. Okay, and of course I've enabled the I've already enabled the exit button, so now they can leave the program. Yay! No more program false imprisonment. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to code our exit button. Okay, so here's our exit button. We're going to type in our code. So we're going to put this program, or this code leaves the program. Okay, so and the book, if you look in the book, it gives you a whole bunch of cool stuff to put. So go ahead and put the cool stuff. That's fine, whatever. So what we're going to do is the exit button. This is a method. It's actually a method which is something that's already programmed in Visual Basic, so you don't have to understand how to do that coding. But what we're going to do is it's called a method call. So we're going to do close And then a method has arguments. We are not using any arguments in this method, so we're just going to leave the parentheses not with anything in them. Okay, so nothing in the parentheses. And move that down. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to run the code. Okay, if you look through it, you can see that it looks like there's no errors, so that's fine. The yellow means that it hasn't been compiled and executed yet, so it's yellow. It should turn to green once we've compiled and executed. So we want to test it. We want to test everything. So we're going to run the program. Okay, it comes up. So we can see that our buttons are disabled. That's fine. We can see that our confirmation message is disabled. That's awesome. We can see that I can click each button. Okay, so I click deep dish and it shows up. Now, when I click thin crust, the thin crust pizza should show up and the deep dish should go. And I should be able to go back and forth showing and displaying. Make sure you check both buttons because sometimes you've programmed one button right but not the other one. So maybe the thin crust, when I press the deep dish, maybe the thin crust makes the deep dish go away. But maybe when I press the deep dish, the thin crust stays. I don't want that to happen. So now we can see that this button is enabled too. So we select our pizza. Now you can see that all this is disabled. Enjoy your pizza selection. And then I test to make sure that I can exit the window. Okay, and it exits the window. And now you can see that everything is green. Okay, once everything is green, then it's all good. Go ahead and make sure you save your whole project. Running it should save it, but you might want to save the whole thing. So do save all just to make sure. Zip it, turn it in. That's it.